First of all, I post my replies as image because I don't have premium and I need to essay to give a proper response. Secondly, I post it on my main because all the ban corn advocates need to see this. And here he posted freaking Jon Del Arroz. So I'm curious what the heck happened here. Counterpoint, the proliferation of corn has led to all the LGBTQ nonsense getting normalized because it's about normalizing fetishes. If people see it more, they get more degenerate and it needs to be stopped. Okay, this is what he said. That he replied to Chainsword. Let's see what Chainsword said. So Chainsword says, I respectfully disagree. While normalizing all the gender stuff was a problem, it was not corn that led us to the current problem. Yeah, over the past 10 years, changes have largely been driven by activism and mainstream media, not corn. The bigger issues were insane LGBTQ teachers, schools that allowed it, the rise of gender studies, normalizing it in public spaces with flags and affirmation. Surgeries for kids, the most importantly, parents who treated their children as fashion accessories or political statements. Corn was just a small part of the problem, a symptom. It's not like corn with pissing or scat made people piss on others or shit on streets, except maybe in India. Oh my gosh. Joking aside, try to take a step back and look at the big picture without emotion. Very important because we only like dive head first with emotion and then we think. First we have to think and then supplement thinking with emotion. First reason, then emotion. I cannot stress this enough how important this is, guys. We all have to be like that, otherwise we're gonna turn into the leftist people. I get your point. You don't want kids consuming corn because they're already exposed to a lot of degeneracy, but it's not really about corn. It's just a small screen to push digital IDs, face scans, and other Aurelian shit for control. The same shit the left did to us over the last decade. Canceling controlling narratives, banning from wrong thinking, and all of that. Corn is a symptom of a lack of education and communication, and honestly, most of the time, it's the parents' fault, same as what's happening now with Thrones. Treating the symptom won't cure the disease. Trying to ban corn across the board is like trying to get rid of a spider by burning down the house instead of destroying the nest. The potential consequences of statewide control are far worse than simple exposure to corn, which can be mitigated with good education and dialogue. Maybe, just maybe, before banning anything, we should focus on getting rid of the they-them clowns parading half naked in the streets and shouting insane shit about made-up genders. Kids will find another way to watch corn anyway, probably more damaging and harder to control. And then what? Ban other forms of pornography, censor gaming, comics, and movies? There's a real risk that all these forms of control won't work, which I believe they won't because it's unrealistic. People will just switch to VPNs or use other potentially more unrelegated sites, leaving us with what we didn't want. Corn, widely accessible, plus government tools for control. It's like in gaming, always online DRM, only fucked legitimate users because pirates crack those games anyway. Oh my god. Okay, first, that's the first paragraph. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Jon Del Arroz basically is way off, because he is coming off only from the religious side. And if you know anything about Jon Del Arroz, this is what he does. He always tries to preach morals and all, but it's coming not from a based place of, not agenda place. I don't know how to say it. But yeah, basically, guys, he's very religious. He's very hypocritical because everything that he says, he actually doesn't do. He stole a woman's identity to pretend that this is her and she wrote the book, but actually it was him. It was a long story. Guys, I mean, uh, I covered Jon Del Arroz many times. He had some stream with Smash JT. He's a gaming YouTuber that I consider one of the people that I look up to on YouTube. And he basically grilled Smash JT on stream. Smash came with very good intentions, but Jon Del Arroz was disingenuous, disgusting. He mocked Smash JT. It was so horrible. And this comes from a man that is a man of faith, but he isn't. Everything that he says, he pretends. So when he says that he hates corn or whatever corn, and he wants to turn it into the LGBT nonsense, whatever he wrote here, it's because he's just pushing his religious things. I personally don't like corn at all. Corn does have negative effects on the brain, but that's besides the point. And I also see in real life how men could be damaged by that and totally ruin their sexual life. So again, very long topic, not going to get into that, and that's not the point. That's totally not the point of the conversation. The point is this whole thing with Mike Brooks and what Jon Del Arroz commented, which was basically irrelevant. How Chainsword just showed. Next, its reality is not really about the kids, is it? Because from what I've seen, some Puritans are advocating for total corn removal even for adults. Mark my words, before the end of next year, there will be a digital ID requirement in every major app if you want to have full functionality. You can already see the first steps in the EU. The European Commission plans to roll out a digital identity wallet capable of conducting age checks by the end of 2026 under the European Digital Identity Regulation. Just this week, Denmark pushed for a regulation requiring a digital ID to use social media at all. Already on Twitter, you have age verification. You can bypass without paying and doxing yourself by providing your ID or face. Expand this to other sites, entertainment, games, etc., and you are creating infrastructure that can be used to monitor everyone, potentially leading to a slippery slope of surveillance and control. Just look at the shit happening in the UK right now. If you want an example, with people getting arrested for posting wrong opinions on social media or even for reading a post someone else wrote. We'd be trading one form of censorship for another. Now imagine that somehow, which is increasingly likely the more of this shit Puritans try to pull, the left wins again and we have all those systems in place. We'll be so effed that we'd look back nostalgically at the times they only canceled us for or made us lose our jobs. You and everyone else who says ban corn right now need to think about it for a while. Analyze it from a logical perspective. Let the consequences sink in. Just to make my stance clear before someone shows up shouting Gunnar, you're defending Pornhub. I couldn't care less if Pornhub burned to the ground. What I'm against is opening the floodgates to internet control. I already fought that shit back in 2012, and it's exactly the kind of thing that made a lot of people turn to the left in the first place. I didn't fight the woke agenda for a decade just to end up under the control of another group or to let the left win because that group isn't any smarter than the left. If this continues, we will be snatching defeat from the jaws of victory, and we haven't fully won yet. The culture war has only swung in our favor. If we are careless, we could be back to square one or even worse within a few years. Yes, of course, guys, when you can, protest the freaking the digital ID, because this is going to create like a police situation for all of us, and it's going to be a living nightmare. So whatever we can do to protest that, we should in each of our countries. And third one, TLDR. I've summarized some facts for easier digestion. You can easily verify them online through analysis or by using basic logical cause and effect reasoning. Yes, of course, Chainsword, but unfortunately many people have no reasoning, let alone cause and effect reasoning, which should be by default, but it's not. Okay, number one, blocking Pornhub or similar sites usually redirects traffic rather than eliminating consumption. Total pornography use in a country rarely changes drastically. It mainly shifts how people access it through VPNs, mirrors, and alternative sites. Number two, bans typically motivate kids to find alternative methods which can be more dangerous in the long run. Censorship doesn't eliminate demand. It simply makes the internet more dangerous and less transparent. Exactly, actually that's a very good point. 3. Any mechanism to enforce the ban, such as age verification, facial recognition, or tracking, requires storing sensitive user data, which can be misused or leaked. Number 4. Once governments build infrastructure to block certain content, those tools can be repurposed for broader censorship, creating a slippery slope of increasing restrictions. Number 5. Corn bans or bans of any kind regarding children do not replace the need for proper guidance and education. Parental guidance and education are far more effective than censorship alone. Good parenting can solve many problems. Absolutely. I mean, I grew up absolutely fine. I mean, me, not everybody, but this is why I have, good parents that have good marriage and they're together and they still love each other and they taught me a lot. Mostly my grandma, actually. My grandma is the best. That's the point. If you have good parents, good grandparents, you have a great foundation. And then, of course, you're just better at judging people and you don't get into groups with kids that are bad for you and understand that they're bad for you if those things are explained to you beforehand to know the differences. Because you can say, well, Gary, you can end up in a very bad group with other kids. Yes, you can, but if you're a very smart kid, you will not go with them. I mean, I always been a lone wolf, so I understand how that is because there was very bad influences around me, but I stood tall and I was just minding my own business. That's why I got a lot of bullying. But then again, I stood tall and I got over this. Eventually found some friends that were like more like-minded and all of that. So it's all about building a character and then, not getting with the bad people. Even if you're the outcast, better be by yourself, but be a quality person than be with the group that is absolute cheap. Okay, number 6, the right succeeded in part because people could remain anonymous, otherwise many would not have risked their jobs or social ostracism to criticize the left. If you remove that anonymity by opening the floodgates of censorship, future support will collapse. Number 7, victory was also influenced by centuries shifting towards the right. These people won't vote right again if Christians start crusading against them, and that's exactly what some are doing right now. Historically, number 8, historically, excessive moral policing drove church followers away, especially those with less puritanical views, right into the hands of the left. This is just a lot smaller for me than it's for you. It's not really about children. Corn is just a smokescreen, a convenient excuse to push broader internet control, censorship, and surveillance under the guise of protecting children. The real goal is building tools for censorship and control, and once they exist, they will be used far beyond their original purpose. If all those arguments haven't made you or others pushing for corn bans reflect on this, there's nothing more I can say without just repeating myself. Yes, Chainsword, you are correct. Especially when I talked to him personally, it became absolutely clear to me that he is super based and everything that he says is very well measured. Very well measured. So whatever Jon Del Arroz wants to push, just because religious reasons, I would say, guys, about corn, you gotta inform yourself how it acts on the psyche, all those things. Just everybody educate themselves and decide whether or not you should watch it or not watch it. That's it, really. It's your choice. The point is for us to have a choice, because if we don't have a choice, things like that happen. I'm gonna take a look at your comments before we move on, but really, it's very unfortunate that once again, another Warhammer 40k book is destroyed, and the lore is destroyed by an author that just wants to push his own ideology into the book where it does not belong at all. I mean, before we had gay authors of many things, but if they have just written their own stuff, everything's gonna be fine. They can be gay in real life if they want. They can watch porn in real life if they want to. But if they have to write, let's say, children books, they have to write a children book, right? Is there anyone left believing Jon Del Arroz? Jon De Furos? Yes, so that's funny. Well, yeah, there is. There always is.
For the imperium must not fail. Imperium we prevail. The warriors march with sacred might. Their purpose burning crystal bright. To lift the throne world from its plight and guard humanity's light.